So, very welcome India, very welcome Sumit Shah, if I explain your name words. So, Hemp in social work in India, you started with your team, you lead a great team in India, and so please, you have your time and tell us about your work, great social work.
All right. Thank you, Maida. So, good afternoon, people. I hope you all are having a very good time in Slovenia. So, just to start off with, my name is Sumit Shah, and we are from the Bombay Hemp Company. We are
Sumit,
based out of India and Mumbai.
we miss you in Slovenia this year.
And I shall begin. Yeah. Yeah. See. So, we are entering a pivotal age in human history in which the tides could turn on the world's most pressing social, economic, and environmental issues. And in order to combat these societal issues, we need to come together to work on a common goal. By defining our goals more clearly, we make them seem more manageable and less remote. It was with this thought that the UN has been actively working on setting goals. First, in 2000, they set 8 Millennium Development Goals that were set to be achieved by 2015. Substantial progress has been made regarding those goals, and over time, the focus grew towards building a sustainable world where environment sustainability, social inclusion, and economic development were equally valued. Thus, last September in 2015, 193 UN member states agreed to adopt 17 global goals covering a broad range of sustainable development issues. In order to achieve these goals, UN hopes to mobilize stakeholders network such as politicians, government, ministers, scientific community, NGOs, religious groups, and also the business community. Expectations are high that the business community can make a significant contribution to help achieve these goals. In India, Niti Aayog has been entrusted with the responsibility of implementing the social development goals. The National Institute for Transforming India, also called Niti Aayog, is the premier think tank of Government of India, which provides both directional and policy inputs. As you would know, kickstarting a hemp industry in the country would require a well-coordinated effort between multiple departments of the government. Niti Aayog is perfectly positioned to orchestrate Bombay Hemp Company taking the lead with hemp in India synergizes with Niti Aayog taking the lead to see to see the, to seek the future of the country's progress. In fact, one of its permanent team members, Vivek Oberoi, published an op-ed in India's leading newspaper supporting the cause of cannabis in India. He goes on to say, I can encourage cannabis and control cannabis indica. In order to achieve these humongous goals, all the stakeholders must come together and deploy a variety of programs. We at Bombay Hemp Company have identified that hemp and cannabis could be perfect to assist in achieving more than half of these goals. Hemp is one such tool as it has a direct positive ripple effect on 8 of the 17 SDGs. Cultivation of one crop can have a cascading effect on other areas as well. I will quickly run through with you some of the goals and see how hemp and cannabis can have a positive effect on them. Currently, the hemp industry is just a small part of the larger economy, and contributions to initiatives like the SDG will only assist the cannabis industry to grow. Goal number one, end poverty in all its forms everywhere. Industrial hemp is primarily a pro-poor versatile crop, which if grown at a large scale, can have a direct impact on the majority of the rural agrarian society. Due to its high value nature of industries requiring hemp-based raw material, the primary beneficiaries of hemp cultivation will be the farmer community. Hemp can be used to kickstart a whole new rural economy, which will lead to decrease in migration rate. Take China for example. They are the world's largest producers of industrial hemp and is planning to use hemp to bring 3 million people out of poverty in the next 10 years. Goal number 2. End hunger, achieve food security, improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. Each ton of hemp grown absorbs close to 1.6 tons of CO2. A crop which has less dependence on herbicides and pesticides and has known to improve soil and land quality would be ideal to replace the currently grown resource intensive natural fibers like jute and cotton. Effective utilization of the available agricultural land to grow cash crops and food crops will eventually lead the country to food security and maybe even end hunger someday. Achieve gender equality and empower all women. The introduction of hemp in India's handloom textile industry would enhance the participation for women across the section of rural India. India employs 3.8 million people in the handloom industry, of which 77% are women artisans. With large-scale cultivation and processing of hemp for industrial uses, there shall be multiple livelihood empowerment opportunities for women which will come into existence. Ensure access to affordable, reliable and sustainable modern energy for all. Hemp fibers have been used to make interconnected carbon nanosheets, which has the properties comparable to those of graphene-based electrodes. This is fundamentally game-changing since hemp fibers can now be used to manufacture at a significantly lower cost the best-in-line batteries and energy devices. Biodegradable energy hardware components like super and ultra capacitors will not only increase the energy storage flow and the flow, but also greatly push growth and reversal of renewable energies like solar and wind power. Promote sustainable, inclusive and sustained economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. Hemp cultivation processing provides significant increase in the per capita income. One of the most profitable crops to cultivate, its diverse uses and commercial applications increase its economic utility. With constant ongoing research on hemp to explore its high-value applications across domains, this leads to sustained year-on-year growth. Hemp is an ideal solution to achieve global resource efficiency. Goal number 11. Make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. The application of hempcrete, hemp biocomposites, as well as hemp insulation makes hemp the perfect raw material for sustainable housing and public infrastructure. The cultivation of hemp and adoption of environmental friendly hemp products and processes provide a carbon negative condition required in the long term, develop resistance against environmental and developmental disasters. Ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. We are part of a generation of consumers that have now been the most aware about the products it's consuming. Future economies are moving towards greener and sustainable raw materials from which products are. Products like green composites, bioplastics, 3D filament material define the new age of sustainable products. The thought leaders in every industry are looking to set sustainable trends which pushes demand to rise by consciousness of capitalism. Goal number 17 and the final goal. Strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. You don't need to reinvent the wheel when you can work with the world to build the best version of it. The global hemp industry is in its nascency, and this gives us a chance to set a better example than all other hyper-competitive industries out there. This industry is about as good as a global family. It is this opportunity which enables the flow of global knowledge and thus rapid growth of the global cannabis industry. Research from across the world can have a direct impact on the life of farmers in lesser developed countries, and this is the power of global collaboration. The SDGs are the central focus point bring development to countries. Similarly, we know that potential impact of that we know the potential impact hemp can bring to developing countries. The question is, how do we bring the development through SDGs on the same line and same page as the model of development of that hemp can offer? For India, the answer BOHECO aims to that's the commitment BOHECO aims to make. Since 2013, BOHECO has been traveling the length and breadth of the country to engage stakeholders in the cannabis ecosystem, from the poorest of villages to the most bureaucratic of offices. Bombay Hemp Company has been working closely with Pachachuli women weavers and Nanda Devi Handloom and Heritage on an initiative to preserve, create, and promote traditional Himalayan handloom while providing livelihood to village women and remote weaver communities. This Center of Excellence was inaugurated by the Chief Minister of the state, and that is where we are working towards making products like shawls, stoles, table runners, rugs, and carpets from locally available handloom hemp. We aim to bring this facility into full state of production in a couple of months' time. We believe that a crop like industrial hemp has the potential to transform the mountain state of Uttarakhand. This Himalayan state has one of the largest reserves of wild cannabis, and the locals have been using fibers and seed for hundreds of years. Uttarakhand is in fact the first state in India to take an initiative of legalizing the cultivation of industrial hemp. Keeping in mind goal number 7 of clean energy, Bombay Hemp Company has invested considerable time and money into researching the viability of hemp-based biofuel. Our initial results are very promising, and now we are in our second phase of testing. The Indian government has propagated the use of biofuel since 2010, when it set up the national policy of biofuels and mandated a 5% blending with normal diesel. For India, this would require close to 800 million liters, and most of this demand is imported. We used an innovative enzymatic process to derive the biofuel and got an outstanding 95% conversion rate. This fuel blended with normal diesel in a ratio of 20:80 and 50:50 to derive B50 and B20. Results like this will have a positive effect on the base of scientific curiosity and innovation in search for cleaner energy solutions for the country and the world. For successful development of the hemp economy in India, it's essential for the correct government perception. To symbolize the process of hemp in India, a no greater message can be sent than hemp walking up the steps into the Indian Parliament. A veteran parliamentarian, Mr. Tathagat Satpathy, made this dream a reality in India when he delivered a speech on the floor of the lower house of the Parliament, dressed in a 100% hemp kurta manufactured by the hemp company. Members of our team were also invited by the government to speak at a unique conference to discuss the drug problem across the state. This collective belief that the problem that has arisen from the growth of illicit cannabis can be combated through the opportunities gained from harnessing its industrial and medicinal potential. Keeping in mind the potential of hemp on the development of a country, Bombay Hemp Company was also invited by the White House to talk at the Global Entrepreneurship Summit at Stanford University this year. The speakers illuminated how for-benefit entrepreneurship is contributing to the sustainable development goals and the impact investment can drive more into the sectors that will help achieve them. And thus, I would like to end by saying that through the course of our journey, the common realization we've had is that all of our achievements and activities are a fraction of what they could be. Excuse me. If, as individuals and enterprises across nations, we came together more proactively to play the role of conductors in the orchestra of the global hemp revolution.
Thank you, Sumit. Sumit. So I know,
Yeah.
Sumit, you have amazing speech, and much more amazing is your work in India. So maybe in what is the point of last half of year in your company, in social company? I hear that you made it a lot of innovations there.
That's correct.
Couple of words about this.
So primarily we are focusing on two main areas. One is handloom textiles, because in India we have a huge ecosystem where we have women weavers and artisans that have been working on wool, that have been working with cotton and other natural fibers. So we want to integrate hemp into the ecosystem. So that is one of the primary areas that we have been focusing on.
Wonderful. Some question from audience for India? No questions. Sumit, it's nice to see you. It's nice to hear you. I hope that we will see us in Slovenia next year. We miss you this year because you can be not with us. And thank you very much. And successful world.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye bye.